Rebecca Lobo on ESPN's.
Just expose how talented, important, and how rare Caitlin Clark is on the court.
We know how much Caitlin drives ratings. We know how much Caitlin drives attention on the WNBA. And for her to come back and do it in that way was just ridiculous.
It shows how special Caitlin Clark is. This is a legendary player.
Caitlin is different. She's a GOAT. The CC effect is back.
She's not just part of the moment, she is the moment.
Rebecca Lobo just shut down all the hate with one powerful message. Caitlin Clark is doing things the WNBA has never seen.
This lady just said she's been around this league since 1996. She has never seen this.
I have never seen that in a WNBA game.
Her talent, impact, and star power speak for themselves.
Clark scored 32, dished out 9 assists to become the first player in WNBA history to have 100 points, 30 rebounds, 30 assists in a player's first 5 games of a season.
If you're 100% behind Caitlin Clark, drop it in the comments right now.
Caitlin is the one.
No comparison to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is the most watched basketball player in world basketball right now. There's nobody that does what Caitlin Clark does.
How special and rare Caitlin Clark is.
She's the biggest basketball star in the world, not named LeBron and Steph.
When Rebecca Lobo, who's been part of the WNBA since nearly day one, says she's never seen anything like Caitlin Clark, that means something. On ESPN's First Take, Lobo couldn't hold back her amazement after watching Caitlin's return performance against the New York Liberty.
And I'm sitting there at the end of the first quarter when she had that 38-second stretch where she drained deep three after deep three after deep three. I was just sitting there thinking, I've been around this league since 1997. I have never seen that in a WNBA game. Have we?
After missing 19 days due to injury, Caitlin stepped back on the court and lit it up like no one ever has. In just a 38-second stretch during the first quarter, she hit 3 deep threes in a row, each one from over 30 feet. It wasn't just a hot hand, it was a statement.
We've seen players go on runs, of course we have, but not like that. Not where a couple of the three-pointers are from 30-plus feet. It was an exhibition by her after being out for 19 days to recover from an injury.
Lobo described sitting there stunned, thinking, I've been around this league since 1997. I have never seen that in a WNBA game. That's coming from someone who's played with and covered legends like Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Lisa Leslie, and Maya Moore.
This is a player that's seen Cheryl Swoops. This is a player that's seen Cynthia Cooper. This is a player that has seen Lisa Leslie, Maya Moore. This is a player that has seen Diana Taurasi, Della Dunn. This is a player that has seen all the stars, fam, all of them, and still can sit here right now and say she's never seen anything like Caitlin Clark. Out of all those players, out of all those years, nobody has ever looked like Caitlin Clark.
But Caitlin's performance didn't just match what those legends could do, it shattered expectations. Lobo emphasized that this wasn't normal. It wasn't just the distance of the shots. It was the fact that Caitlin was pulling up in full sprint. No hesitation, no slowing down, just pure confidence and ridiculous range. The comparison naturally came up. Steph Curry, but even Lobo noted that what makes Caitlin stand out is her ability to shoot those bombs while sprinting forward at top speed. Something not even Steph or Dame consistently does.
Talking about Steph Curry, and you said he's the greatest shooter God ever created. On Saturday, Caitlin Clark certainly looked like that.
Her words weren't sugar-coated praise. They were historical context. Lobo called it ridiculous.
For her to come back and do it in that way was just ridiculous.
An exhibition, and admitted that as someone who watches this league closely, she had never seen anything like it.
She shoots and makes shots from 36 feet. The effortless charisma, the awkward but honest interview, she grabs you without any gimmicks, captivates you without chasing clout.
That kind of genuine, awestruck respect coming from a former player and respected analyst isn't just a compliment, it's a mic drop. Rebecca Lobo didn't just highlight a few flashy moments. She broke down why Caitlin Clark is already rewriting the standard for greatness in the WNBA. Let's talk about her return game in full context. After nearly 3 weeks off due to injury, Caitlin Clark stepped back onto the court and dropped 32 points.
Caitlin Clark, even being out for those 3 weeks, did something on the basketball court that I've never seen a player do in the WNBA. And that was that stretch that you were just talking about, that 38-second stretch where she came down and hit not just 3 threes, but 3 bomb threes. And she did it in a first quarter where the New York Liberty had an 11-point lead, and Indiana needed her to come out and do that to kind of get back into the game. Her passing was on point, her scoring.
Shooting an insane 55% from the field and 7 of 14 from 3.
Caitlin Clark is the best long shooter ever created. There is nobody that can shoot from that distance like Caitlin Clark.
But that wasn't all. She also recorded 9 assists, becoming the first player in WNBA history to notch 100 points, 30 rebounds, and 30 assists in the first 5 games of a season. That's not just a good rookie start. That's historic. And remember, this wasn't a quiet stat-padding performance. It was loud. It was electric. She stepped onto the floor against a top-tier team like the Liberty and instantly shifted the momentum. That 38-second stretch in the first quarter where she hit 3 30-foot bombs.
There's nobody else in this league. Yes, other players can go for 30. Yes, that's true.
That wasn't just a highlight reel. It was a warning shot to the league. She wasn't just back. She was better than ever. Lobo went beyond the stats to break down why Caitlin is different. She pointed out something crucial. Most elite shooters need space and rhythm. Caitlin doesn't. She can hit long-range threes while sprinting full speed. That might not sound like a big deal until you realize even Steph Curry, the gold standard of shooting, usually needs a setup. Lobo mentioned Steph's legendary game winner from near half court against OKC and how people still talk about it a decade later. Yet Caitlin does shots like that regularly. She's not copying Curry. She's evolving the art of deep shooting.
Her gravity is different to even that of Curry. She doesn't have the off-the-ball gravity of Curry, but I've never seen a person sprint into those shots like Caitlin.
And this isn't just about range, it's about gravity. Lobo explained that when Caitlin is on the court, defenders stretch out farther, creating more space for her teammates. That level of impact isn't common, not even in the men's game. Her mere presence changes the way the defense functions.
Caitlin Clark goes full speed straight and pulls up. She will pull up on full speed. There's nobody that does that.
And her ability to collapse defenders while still dishing out dimes makes her the rare combo of elite scorer and elite facilitator. That's the part people forget. She's not just a shooter, she's a true point guard.
She was the best guard in the league.
Who creates plays just as easily as she finishes them. Lobo even reminded viewers that Caitlin was already 4th in MVP voting last year.
As a player, she finished last year 4th in MVP voting.
And that she's currently the 2nd favorite this season, right behind Napheesa Collier. That's almost unheard of for someone in just her first full year in the league. The leap from college to the pros is supposed to be hard, but Caitlin makes it look effortless. And it's not just because she's talented, it's because her game is built on vision, pace, and basketball IQ that goes beyond raw skill. This is why the hate from players and coaches trying to downplay her is not only wrong, it's embarrassing. You can't deny what's in front of your face. She's breaking records. She's drawing the highest ratings.
CC is carrying their entire league.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from 3. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from 3-point range.
She's bringing in new fans. And most importantly, she's making the WNBA must-watch basketball. So when someone like Rebecca Lobo, who has seen literally every era of women's basketball, says Caitlin Clark is doing things we've never seen, you better believe that's not hype. That's truth.
Steph White took her out a little bit more, gave her a little bit more rest than we're accustomed to seeing from Caitlin Clark. She still played 30 minutes in the game, but that she had no rust, had a performance like that. And you could see the joy on her face, especially in that interaction you saw with Breanna Stewart about how happy she was to be back on the floor.
This is where it gets real. The criticism, the cold shoulders, the rough fouls, the dismissive interviews, everything that's been thrown at Caitlin Clark since she entered the WNBA, it's not about her talent. It's about jealousy. And whether they admit it or not, that jealousy has spread through parts of the league like wildfire. But Rebecca Lobo? She just stepped in and called it what it is, undeniable greatness, and in doing so, dismantled every excuse those jealous players and coaches have tried to lean on. Let's break it down. WNBA veterans, coaches, and even some execs have acted like Caitlyn's spotlight somehow disrespects the ones who came before her. Like her selling out arenas, breaking records, and bringing in millions of new fans is an insult instead of a blessing.
There are millions of people that never cared about the WNBA at all that now care because Caitlin Clark is in the WNBA.
But what Lobo did with her words was pull the curtain back. When someone who's been around the league since its very foundation says, "I've never seen anything like this,"
WNBA regular season games mean a bit more, and I don't think we've seen something like this.
It becomes impossible to pretend Caitlyn is just media hype. Rebecca has seen the greats: Lisa Leslie, Maya Moore, Diana Taurasi, Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper. She didn't just watch their games, she played in the same era.
How special and rare Caitlin Clark is. This is a player that's seen Cheryl Swoops. This is a player that's seen Cynthia Cooper. This is a player that has seen Lisa Leslie, Maya Moore. This is a player that has seen Diana Taurasi, Della Dunn. This is a player that has seen all the stars, fam, all of them, and still can sit here right now and say she's never seen anything like Caitlin Clark. Out of all those players, out of all those years, nobody has ever looked like Caitlin Clark.
And yet, after seeing Caitlyn drop 3 bombs from beyond 30 feet, run the offense, and dish out assists like a veteran floor general, Lobo stood up and said this is different. Her voice carries weight because it's rooted in history, in experience, and in truth. And it's a truth that a lot of WNBA gatekeepers aren't ready to hear. The second transcript hits even harder. The creator lays it out bluntly. They are burning this bridge for no reason. And it's true, Caitlyn didn't come into the league with ego or entitlement. She came in with results. But some players and coaches chose to treat her like a threat instead of a teammate. They went after her on the court, ignored her off it, and pushed narratives that made it seem like she didn't belong. But why? Because deep down, they knew what she represented: change. And change scares people. You'd think a league that struggled to stay profitable would embrace a player who's bringing in more viewers, media attention, and ticket sales than anyone in recent memory.
WNBA rumors suggest Caitlin Clark will be among the first stars making $1 million annually. The most notable of which is, y'all already know who, the needle mover, Caitlin Clark.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from 3. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from 3-point range.
It's like they're throwing gas on the money and lighting a match. The WNBA doesn't just need talent, it needs stars. It needs moments. It needs someone who can make a kid watching on YouTube want to pick up a ball. Caitlin Clark is that someone. Yet instead of lifting her up, parts of the league are trying to clip her wings. And here's the irony. Those very people pushing back the hardest are the ones benefiting the most from her presence. When Caitlin plays, ratings spike.
Since Caitlin Clark got injured, WNBA ratings have dropped 55%. 55% ratings loss. When she left, she's back to season-high ratings. Here's Caitlin Clark after.
Merch flies off shelves. National headlines follow. Opposing teams get more fans in their arenas when she visits. She is literally elevating everyone around her, whether they like her or not. So when Rebecca Lobo takes the mic and says, Caitlin isn't just special, she's one of one. She's not just praising her, she's defending her. She's defending her place in the league, her value to the sport, and her right to shine. And let's not pretend the jealousy is subtle. It's out there in plain view. Whether it's the constant media criticism, the refusal to give her proper credit, or the physicality that clearly crosses the line, the intent is the same: make Caitlin feel like she's not welcome. But here's the twist. They've already lost. Because the more they try to push her out, the more fans rally behind her.
It is undeniable that Caitlin Clark is the engine.
Caitlin Clark effect. There has been so much of an influx in attendance and jersey sales and viewership, all the things.
That's about star power, narrative, and likability.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
Just have nothing but great things to say about who she is as a person. Just so welcoming and so warm as an individual that she can have a conversation with anybody. She's cut from the same cloth as me in that regard. You know, us Midwesterners, we tend to just, accept everybody with open arms. She was so kind to my family and everyone in the suite when she came to KC. So huge fans of Caitlin Clark.
The more the league tries to box her in, the more she breaks through. Rebecca Lobo's words were a turning point. She made it clear, you can either keep hating or you can realize that Caitlin Clark isn't going anywhere. And if the WNBA is smart, it'll stop fighting the wave and start riding it. Because Caitlin isn't just the most exciting player in the league. She's the future of it. Anyone still trying to drag her down? They're not just jealous. They're on the wrong side of history.
We know how much Caitlin drives ratings. We know how much Caitlin drives attention on the WNBA. And for her to come back and do it in that way was just ridiculous.
If there was ever doubt that jealousy is driving much of the backlash Caitlin Clark has faced, just look at what Rebecca Lobo said and what it reveals. Lobo didn't just throw out compliments. She drew a clear line between greatness and bitterness. Her praise exposed the uncomfortable truth. Caitlin's talent is so undeniable, it's threatening to those who've never had this kind of spotlight. The problem isn't Caitlin, it's the fragile egos being rattled by her presence. When Lobo said she's never seen anything like this in all her decades around the WNBA, it wasn't just admiration, it was a reality check. You don't get praise like that if you're average. You get it when your game forces people to reevaluate what's possible, and that's exactly what's happening. Caitlin isn't just scoring points. She's shifting the culture. She's breaking viewership records, bringing new fans into the league, and outshining even seasoned veterans on the court. And let's be honest, some players can't handle it. That's why we're seeing cheap shots, icy interviews, and media snubs. They're not reacting to Caitlin's attitude. They're reacting to her impact.
The impact she has had both on and off the court and one season plus, it's certainly right up there. We were talking with our crew after the game. We got at least 10 more years of watching Caitlin in her absolute prime.
The game's biggest disruptor is a 22-year-old rookie, and instead of celebrating that, some in the league have chosen to resent it. But that resentment only makes Caitlin's dominance more obvious. Rebecca Lobo, a respected voice who's been part of every WNBA era, effectively said, "Enough is enough." She made it clear that Clark's performance wasn't just exciting, it was historic. That kind of statement shatters every excuse, every downplay, every claim that Caitlin is just hyped. She's not. She's earned everything and more. And the fact that so many refuse to admit it says more about them than it does about her. The league's future is staring them in the face, and instead of building with her, some are still trying to shut her out. But Lobo's voice...
Now, if y'all don't know who Rebecca Lobo is, Rebecca Lobo has been around the WNBA since close to its existence.
This lady just said she's been around this league since 1996. She has never seen this.
Rebecca Lobo is not going to change because let's be real, she is one of the best at what she does.
And it's so exciting. It's so fun to watch her. She's certainly the most exciting player, certainly the most fun player to watch in the league right now. And we're just going to see kind of her legacy continue to grow as she has more performances like we saw on Saturday. And again, time will show how long is it going to take her to get that Indiana Fever team to a WNBA champion.
And millions of fans are saying otherwise. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing the game differently. She's forcing the league to choose, evolve or get left behind. And the ones who are trying to dim her light out of jealousy, they're only making her shine brighter.
Serena was cooking, but Caitlin was cooking, bro.
Rebecca Lobo didn't just praise Caitlin Clark. She made it impossible to ignore her. In a league full of history, legends, and elite talent, Lobo made it clear that Caitlin is doing something we've never seen, And yet, instead of being celebrated, she's faced with pushback from those who should be embracing her. But here's the truth. No amount of jealousy, criticism, or resistance can stop what Caitlyn's building. She's not just playing the game, she's changing it.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT.
She signed my jersey. I'm so happy. I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
There are millions of people that never cared about the WNBA at all that now care because Caitlin Clark is in the WNBA.
And if the WNBA wants a future filled with packed arenas, global attention, and real profitability, then they better stop fighting Caitlin Clark and start building around her.